Good morning, students. Let us continue with the last topic of the chapter number 6, Human Genome Project. In the preceding sections, we have learned that the sequence of bases in DNA that determines the genetic information of a given organism. In other words, genetic makeup of an organism or an individual lies in the DNA sequences. If two individuals differ, then their DNA sequences should also differ from each other, at least at some places. These assumptions led to the quest of finding out the complete DNA sequence of the human genome. With the establishment of genetic engineering techniques, it was possible to isolate and clone. Isolate, that is to find out or to separate it out, and clone, that is to copy a piece of DNA, and availability of simple and fast techniques for determining DNA sequence. A very ambitious project of sequencing human genome was launched in year 1990. Human Genome Project HGP was called a mega project. You can imagine the magnitude and the requirements for the project if we simply define the aims of the project as follows. Human genome is said to have approximately 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs, and if the cost of sequencing required in US dollar 3 per base pair, the total estimated cost of the project would be approximately 9 billion US dollars. Further, if the obtained sequences were to be stored in typed form in books, and if each page of the book contained 1000 letters and each book contained 1000 pages, then 3300 such books would be required to store the information of DNA sequence from a single human cell. The enormous amount of data expected to be generated also necessitated the use of high-speed computational devices for data storage and retrieval and analysis. Retrieval, that is, whenever we want that information, we can retrieve the information, we can take the information. HGP was closely associated with the rapid development of a new era in biology that is known as bioinformatics. A new branch was developed. Let us see the goals of the HGP. Some important goals are: first, identify all the approximately 20,000 to 25,000 genes in human DNA. Determine the sequences of 3 billion chemical base pairs that make up the human DNA. Store this information in database. Improve tools for data analysis. Transfer related technologies to other sectors such as industries. Address the ethical, legal and social issues ELSI that may arise from the project. The Human Genome Project was a 13-year project coordinated by US Department of Energy and the National Institute of Health. During the early years of HGP, the Wellcome Trust UK became a major partner. Additional contributions came from Japan, France, Germany, China, and others. The project was completed in 2003. Knowledge about the effects of DNA variation among individuals can lead to revolutionary new ways to diagnose, treat, and someday prevent the thousands of disorders that affect human beings. Besides providing clues to understanding human biology, learning about non-human organisms' DNA sequences can lead to an understanding of their natural capabilities that can be applied toward solving challenges in healthcare, agriculture, energy production, environmental remediation, that is, changes, improvements. Many non-human model organisms such as bacteria, yeast, Caenorhabditis elegans, the free-living non-pathogenic nematode, that is roundworm, Drosophila, fruit fly, plants, rice and Arabidopsis, etc. have also been sequenced. Methodologies used for the sequencing. The methods involved two major approaches. One approach focused on identifying all the genes that are expressed as RNA, referred to as expressed sequence tags ESTs. The other took the blind approach of simply sequencing the whole set of genome. दैट इज़ दो वेज से इसको किया गया. पहला जिसमें सिर्फ जीन्स को सीक्वेंस किया और दूसरा पूरा डीएनए सीक्वेंस किया. So it contained all the coding and non-coding sequences, and later assigning different regions in the sequence with functions, a term referred to as sequence annotation. For sequencing, the total DNA from cell is isolated and converted into random fragments of a relatively small size. Sequencing very long pieces of DNA and cloned in suitable host using specialized vectors, the cloning resulted into amplification of each piece of DNA fragment so that it subsequently could be sequenced with ease. The commonly used hosts were bacteria and yeast. The vectors were called bacterial artificial chromosome BAC and yeast artificial chromosome YAC. The fragments were sequenced using automated DNA sequencers that worked on the principle of a method developed by Frederick Sanger. Remember, Sanger is also credited for developing method for determination of amino acid. Sequences in proteins. These sequences were then arranged based on some overlapping region present in them. This required generation of overlapping fragments for sequencing. Alignment of these sequences was humanly not possible, and therefore specialized computer-based programs were developed. These sequences were subsequently annotated and were assigned to each chromosome. The sequence of the chromosome 1 was completed only in May 2006. This was the last of the 24 human chromosomes, 22 autosomes, and X and Y to be sequenced. Another challenging task was assigning the genetic and physical map on the genome, that where the genes are located. This was generated using information on polymorphism of restriction endonuclease recognition site. We know that endonuclease identify the sites and then produce the cut. Some of the repetitive DNA sequences called microsatellites are also used in order to find the whole mapping of the DNA. Here's the figure representing the Human Genome Project. The cell was isolated from the human being, out of which the chromosomes were isolated, out of which the DNA fragments were produced and which were analyzed and organized. Alignment was done by the computerized programs. Silent features of human genome. First, human genome contains 3,164.7 million base pairs. The average gene consists of 3000 bases, but size vary greatly, with the largest known human gene being dystrophin at 2.4 million bases. The total number of genes is estimated at 30,000, much lower than the previous estimates. Almost 99.99% nucleotides are similar in human beings. The functions are unknown for over 50% of the discovered gene. Less than 2% of the genome codes for the protein. Repeated sequences make up very large portion of the human genome. Repetitive sequences are stretches of DNA sequence that are repeated many times, sometimes 100 to 1000 times. They are thought to have no direct coding function, but they shed light on chromosome structure, dynamics, and evolution. Next is chromosome 1 has the most genes, 2968, and the Y has the fewest, 231. Scientists have identified about 1.4 million locations where single base DNA difference occur in human. that is known as single nucleotide polymorphism SNPs, which is pronounced as SNPs. This information promises to revolutionize the process of finding chromosomal location for disease associated sequences and tracing human history. Applications and future challenges. Deriving meaningful knowledge from the DNA sequence will define research through the coming decades, leading to our understanding of biological system. This enormous task will require the expertise and creativity of tens of thousands of scientists from varied disciplines in both the public and the private sector worldwide. One of the greatest impacts of having the human genome sequence may well be enabling a radically new approach to biological research. In the past, researchers studied one or few genes at a time. With whole genome sequences and new high throughput technologies, we can approach questions systematically on much a broader scale. They can study all the gene in the genome, for example, all the transcripts in the particular tissue or organ or tumor, or how tens of thousands of gene and protein work together in an interconnected network to orchestrate the chemistry of life. So all information, all studies were only possible due to the Human Genome Project. Most important technology used for this was DNA fingerprinting. As stated in the preceding section, 99.9% of the base sequence among human is same. Assuming human genome as 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs, in how many base sequences would there be differences? Is this differences in sequence of DNA which make every individual unique in their phenotypic appearance. If one aims to find out genetic differences between two individuals or among individuals of a population, sequencing the DNA every time would be a daunting and expensive task. इतना खर्चा हम हर बार नहीं कर सकते. अगर किन्हीं भी दो मेंबर्स के डीएनए को मैच करना है तो हर बार ह्यूमन जीनोम सिक्वेंसिंग का सहारा हम नहीं ले सकते. इट इज़ अ वेरी एक्सपेंसिव एंड वेरी लेंदी elaborated process. Okay, so imagine trying to compare two sets of 3 into 10 to the power 9 base pairs. DNA fingerprinting is a very quick way to compare the DNA sequence of any two individuals. Hence, it became a very, very, very helpful technique in so many branches, especially in the forensic science. DNA fingerprinting involves identifying differences in some specific region in DNA sequence called as repetitive DNA. As we talked about, that there are so many sequences which repeat in a DNA and which are related to the evolution of that particular organism. Because in these sequences, a small stretch of DNA is repeated many times. These repetitive DNA are separated from the bulk genomic DNA as different peaks during the density gradient centrifugation. The bulk DNA forms a major peak and the other small peaks are referred to the satellite DNA. We are not concerned with the bulk DNA, okay? We are concerned with the satellite DNA. Depending on the base composition, AT rich or GC rich, length of segment and number of repetitive unit, the satellite DNA is classified into many categories: microsatellite, mini satellite, etc. These sequences normally do not code for any protein, but they form a large portion of human genome and they are important for the evolutionary history. These sequences show high degree of polymorphism and form the basis of DNA fingerprinting. Since DNA from every tissue, blood, hair follicle, skin, bone, saliva, sperm, etc. from an individual can be taken, it shows the same degree of polymorphism. They become very useful for identification tool in forensic application. Further, polymorphisms are inheritable from parents to children. Hence, DNA fingerprinting also forms the basis of paternity testing in case of disputes. As polymorphism in DNA sequence is the basis of genetic mapping of human genome as well as DNA fingerprinting, it is essential that we understand what DNA polymorphism means in simple terms. Polymorphism means variation at genetic level arises due to mutations. We have already studied about mutation in the chapter number 5 and in the preceding sections in this chapter also. New mutation may arise in an individual either in somatic cells or in the germ cells. If the germ cell mutation does not seriously impair the individual's ability to have offspring who can transmit the mutation, it can spread to the other members of the population through the sexual reproduction. Allelic, that is, again we have understood about alleles. Allelic sequence variation has traditionally been described as DNA polymorphism if more than one variant at the locus occurs in human population with frequency greater than 0.01. In simple terms, if an inheritable mutation is observed in population at high frequency, it is referred to as DNA polymorphism. The probability of such variation to be observed in non-coding DNA sequence would be higher, as mutation in these sequences may not have any immediate effect or impact in an individual's reproductive ability. These mutations keep on accumulating generation after generation and form one of the bases of variability or polymorphism. There is a variety of different kinds of polymorphism ranging from single nucleotide change to very large scale changes. For evolution and speciation, such polymorphisms play very important role and we will study in higher classes. The technique of DNA fingerprinting was initially developed by Alec Jeffrey. He used satellite DNA as probe that shows very high degree of polymorphism. It was called as variable number of tandem repeats VNTR. The technique as used earlier involved southern blot hybridization using radio-labeled VNTR as a probe. It included isolation of DNA, digestion of DNA by restriction endonuclease, separation of DNA fragment by electrophoresis, transferring, that is blotting, of separated DNA fragments to synthetic membrane such as nitrocellulose or nylon, hybridization using labeled VNTR probe, radioactive labeled, and detection of hybridized DNA fragment by autoradiography. We can see a schematic representation here. Parental chromosomes are taken, paternal and maternal. Chromosome number 7 is taken, for example. Chromosome number 2 is taken and chromosome number 16 is taken. One is for paternal and one is for maternal. Two samples are taken from individual A and individual B. We can see the colored segments which are known as VNTRs that we have to match. We have to resemble or we have to identify that whether it resembles or not. So after that we have done gel electrophoresis of both the samples A and B. The sample C is the sample of DNA from the crime scene for which we have to match from A and B, that who is the culprit. See, so from this gel electrophoresis sheets we can see that the fragments of C resemble to the B. So by this we can find out that the number of short tandem repeats are found from chromosome number 7, chromosome number 2 and chromosome number 16, and this matches which will gives the surety that the DNA obtained from the crime scene resembles to the DNA of the individual B. So more or less it is confirmed that individual B is the culprit. So the VNTR belongs to a class of satellite referred to as mini satellite. A small DNA sequence is arranged tandemly in many copy numbers. The copy number varies from chromosome to chromosome in an individual. The number of repeat show very high degree of polymorphism. As a result, the size of VNTR varies in size from 0.1 to 20 kb. Consequently, after hybridization with VNTR probe, the autoradiogram gives many bands of differing sizes. These bands give a characteristic pattern for an individual DNA. It differs from the individual to individual in a population, except in the case of monozygotic identical twins. The sensitivity of the technique has been increased by use of polymerase chain reaction, that is PCR. We'll study about it in chapter number 11. Consequently, DNA from a single cell is enough to perform DNA fingerprinting analysis. In addition to application in forensic science, it has much wider applications such as in determining population and genetic diversities. Currently, many different probes are used to generate DNA fingerprints. This was all about chapter number 6, and with this we have completed chapter number 6. Keep studying.